Hey folks, this is Mr. Item here, and this geometry lesson is on solving right triangles. But before we do this, my students, I have them do a classroom quiz, so I'm going to go ahead and have them work on this classroom quiz. So if I'm not there, go ahead and pause this, please, so the students can write this down. In fact, I'm going to say them also, you guys. This should be number one. Sorry, I don't have a number one right there. What this should say, the square root of 49y to the 7th is number 1. Number 2 is the square root of y to the 21st. Number 3, the square root of 9 squared plus 40 squared. This part down here is the square root of 15 times the square root of 42. This one here is the square root of 450 divided by the square root of 2. And finally, this is number 3. It's 2 times the quantity root 56 minus 4. And then go ahead and pause this, you guys, and then so you have some time to work on that. All right, so this is solving right triangles. So you've been through the tangent ratio, which is opposite over hypotenuse. I'm sorry, it is not. That's sine. You've been through the tangent ratio, which is opposite over adjacent. You've been through sine and cosine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So what we're going to do is find x in all of these things, you guys. It's going to be all the triangle. You're going to whatever piece of the triangle that we don't have, we're going to find x in here. Okay, so find x in each. Round the side lengths to the nearest tenth and the angles to the nearest degree. Here's number 1. Okay, and I spelt Sokotoa up there. Let's see. Here's a silly gimmick. In fact, I don't know if I said this in the last video or not. So some old hippie caught another hippie taking old apples. Okay, Sokotoa. Some old hippie caught another hippie taking old apples. All right, so this means sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. All right, so we have this triangle over here, and we need to see is that with everything that I see right here, I see this angle, I see the I see the adjacent side right here, and the hypotenuse is being used. Okay, this hypotenuse is 12. So adjacent side, hypotenuse, that would be this one, adjacent side and hypotenuse. So this is going to be a cosine ratio. So I'm going to set up the cosine of 72. Cosine of 72 equals the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Okay, so find the cosine of 72. So you punch in cosine 72 in your calculator, and you get 0.309, and then you put it over to 1. And remember, you cross multiply. So go ahead and cross multiply, and you get 1x equals 0.309 times 12. All right, and it said round it to the nearest tenth, so x is 3.7. All right, so it should be easy, you guys. All right, how about this one, number 2? Okay, you got this right triangle. And what I always check, you guys, is see if they have the hypotenuse being involved. If the hypotenuse is not involved, then it's not sine, it's not cosine, because they're the ones with the h's, you guys. So this one's tangent ratio. So it's going to be the tangent of this angle down here is opposite leg over adjacent leg, 11 over x. So the tangent of 39 is 11 over x. Okay, so tangent of 39 gets me 0.810, and then we're going to go ahead and cross multiply, and we get x equals 13.6. Okay, you guys can do this. All right, come on, here we go. Let's try another one here. Okay, number 3. Okay, here we have another right triangle. This time the hypotenuse is being used, and so this one is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, that is the sine ratio. Let me go back and grab this and put it on this page over here. That is the sine ratio. So I'm going to go sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of 27 is x over 13. Alrighty, so you go ahead and put that in there, and then sine of 27 is 0.454. Going to go ahead and cross multiply, and I get x equals 5.9. Okay, so this time, this one, we're looking for the angle x. Okay, still we got to see what relationship. Is it sine, cosine, or tangent? All right, here we have the hypotenuse, so it's definitely not tangent because 33 is the hypotenuse. And this is the opposite leg over the hypotenuse. So again, that is sine. So I'm going to write the sine of x equals opposite over hypotenuse, 13 over 33. Okay, when you're doing this, you have to get the decimal of 13 over 33. So take 13 and divide it by 33 in your calculator, and you should get 0.393939, and 39 repeats and repeats and repeats. Okay, what this says here is the sine of some angle is going to give me 0.393939. Well, if you have that little piece of paper, I don't know if you have it. If you don't, I'll give it to you, or my substitute will give it to you. Of all the sine ratio, tangent ratio, and cosine ratios, all the ratios on there. If not, plug in your calculator. This is where you have to do your second function feature. And your second function feature is usually the upper left-hand corner of your calculator. Okay, so if you do second and then hit sine, and then plug that 0.393939 in there, it'll tell you what degree will get me 0.393939. Okay, so you should get 23 degrees. And if you're using the table, then what you got to do is go down your sine column and find the decimal that's closest to 0.39, and then scroll back over to the left over here and find what degree that is, and that'll tell you it's 23 degrees. Okay, I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Punch in your calculator when you get a second, you guys. Punch in your calculator the sine of 23. You should get something close to 0.393939. Okay, it won't be exact, but it'll be something really close. And so that's the degree measure that you find on that. Let's try another one of those, you guys. Okay, let's try this guy right here. Okay, we got this right triangle. All right, this time the hypotenuse is not being used, so this one is a definite tangent ratio. So the tangent of x equals opposite over adjacent. So opposite over adjacent. Go ahead and get 7.5 divided by 16 out in your calculator. You get 0.46875. Then we're going to go second. This is saying tangent of some number equals this. So I'm going to go second function tangent and then hit 0.46875. And when you do that, you find out that that angle is about 25 degrees. And just to check, you guys, hit tangent of 25 and it should get 0.46875. In fact, I'm doing that right now. I'm going to go ahead and hit tangent of 25 and I get about 0.46. Well, it's close. Mine says 0.466. Well, that's because we rounded, you guys. So let's see. So second function tangent of 0.46875. Yeah, I get 25.11, and that's why we rounded. So it's 25 degrees, close to 25 degrees. If we did tangent of 25.11, that'd get us even closer to that. Okay, but it said round it to the nearest degree, so it's 25 degrees. Okay, or you go down your tangent column, you guys. If you go down your tangent column and find the one that's closest to 0.46875 on your tangent column, and then scroll backwards and you'll see it's the one that's at 25 degrees. Okay, all right, let's try, okay, this example is on page 45, okay, and it looks like this. It says theater design. So it says, suppose your school is building a raked stage. A raked stage is has this kind of ramp going up here. Okay, it's going up like that. Okay, and the stage will be 30 feet long. So this is 30 feet long right here, from the front to the back, with a total rise of 2 feet over here. A rake angle of elevation, which is this little angle right here inside that little right triangle right there. Okay, so it's that little angle right there inside of there. So a raked angle is a raked angle of elevation of 5 degrees or less is generally preferred for the safety of the comfort of the actors. Is the raked stage you are building within the range suggested? So we're going to do, is this sine, cosine, or tangent? So this little angle right there, this is the side opposite, and 30 is the hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse is a sine ratio. Okay, so the sine, oops, that should be a 30 right there, you guys. This should be a 30. Let me change that. That's going to be, let's go 30. Good, didn't do that to me. So 30, okay. So the sine of x equals opposite over hypotenuse right there. And we're going to go ahead, good, I fixed it. And so 2 divided by 30 is 0.0666666, and the 6 repeats. So we do second function sine because it was a sine ratio, and then plug that in and we get about 3.8. And then let's answer the question, you guys. The question is the raked stage you are building within the range suggested? So since 3.8 is less than 5, then yes, the raked stage is within the safety range. Okay, so make sure you answer the question, you guys. Don't just say x equals 3.8, because that's not what it's asking. It's asking, is it safety? All right, one more, you guys. Solve the right triangle. Okay, so here's this right triangle right there. When it just says solve the right triangle, they say find everything that's not given. So that means if that's 42, there's my right angle right there, that's 70. I got to find that angle. I have to find this side right here, AB, and this side down here, CB. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first of all, the easy one to do is angle B right there. Angle B from the triangle is 180. If that's 42 and that's 90, this has to be 48 to continue it to make 180. Okay, that's the easy part right there. And then what I did is I did the tangent ratio of 42. Tangent of 42 is x over 70. So then when I do that, tangent of 42 is x over 70, and then cross multiply, and I get CB equals 63, and then make sure you answer it in terms of the context of the problem, 63 feet. All right, and then what you could do is you can do the Pythagorean Theorem, you guys. You can do 63 squared plus 70 squared equals this side squared, and I think I called it y. But I didn't do the Pythagorean Theorem, you guys. Since I know this angle right here, I just did I did cosine ratio with the 70, and I call this piece y right there. I think it's easier, since we have our calculator, just to do the sine, cosine, tangent stuff, the trigonometry stuff. So the cosine of 42 is 70 over y, so here it is right there. And then you cross multiply and divide, and I get 94.2 feet. Okay? All right, now if you're in my class, I would like you guys to do that as your homework, pages 485 and 486, numbers 3 through 20 all. Take care.